Chapter 18, The Family of Little Feet. There was a family. All were little. Their arms were little, and their hands were little, and their height was not tall, and their feet very small. The grandpa slept on the living room couch and snored through his teeth. His feet were fat and doughy like thick tamales, and these he powdered and stuffed into white socks and brown leather shoes. The grandma's feet were lovely as pink pearls and dressed in velvety high heels that made her walk with a wobble, but she wore them anyways because they were pretty. The baby's feet had 10 tiny toes, pale and see-through like a salamander's, and these he popped into his mouth whenever he was hungry. The mother's feet, plump and polite, descended like white pigeons from the sea of pillow across the linoleum roses, down the wooden stairs, over the chalk hopscotch squares, 5, 6, 7, blue sky. "Do you want this?" and gave us a paper bag with one pair of lemon shoes and one red and one pair of dancing shoes that used to be white, but were now pale blue. "Here," and we said thank you and waited until she went upstairs. Hooray! Today we are Cinderella because our feet fit exactly, and we laugh at Rachel's one foot with a girl's gray sock and a lady's high heel. Do you like these shoes? But the truth is, it is scary to look down at your feet that is no longer yours and see attached a long leg. Everybody wants to trade. The lemon shoes for the red shoes, the red for the pair that were once white but are now pale blue, the pale blue for the lemon, and take them off and put them back on and keep on like this a long time until we're tired. Then Lucy screams to take our socks off, and yes, it's true, we have legs. Skinny and spotted with satin scars where scabs were picked, but legs, all our own, good to look at and long. It's Rachel who learns to walk the best, all strutted in those magic high heels. She teaches us to cross and uncross our legs and to run like a double Dutch rope, and how to walk down to the corner so that the shoes walk back to you with every step. Lucy, Rachel, me, teetottering like so, down to the corner where the men can't take their eyes off us. We must be Christmas. Mr. Benny at the corner grocery puts down his important cigar. "Your mother know you got shoes like that? Who gave you those?" "Nobody." "Them are dangerous," he says. "You girls too young to be wearing shoes like that. Take them shoes off before I call the cops." But we just run. On the avenue, a boy on a homemade bicycle calls out, "Ladies, lead me to heaven." But there's nobody around but us. "Do you like these shoes?" Rachel says yes, and Lucy says yes, and yes, I say. These are the best shoes. We will never go back to wearing the other kind again. Do you like these shoes? In front of the laundromat, 6 girls with the same fat face pretend we are invisible. They are the cousins, Lucy says, and always jealous. We just keep strutting. Across the street in front of the tavern, a bum man on the stoop. "Do you like these shoes?" Bum man says, "Yes, little girl. Your little lemon shoes are so beautiful. But come closer, I can't see very well. Come closer, please." "You are a pretty girl," Bum Man continues. "What's your name, pretty girl?" And Rachel says, "Rachel," just like that. You know to talk to drunks is crazy, and to tell them your name is worse. But who can blame her? She's young and dizzy to hear so many sweet things in one day, even if it is a bum man's whiskey word saying them. "Rachel, you are prettier than a yellow taxi cab. You know that?" But we don't like it. "We gotta go," Lucy says. "If I give you $1, will you kiss me? How about $1? I give you $1 and he looks in his pocket for wrinkled money. We have to go right now, Lucy says, taking Rachel's hand because she looks like she's thinking about that dollar. Bum Man is yelling something to the air, but by now we are running fast and far away, our high heel shoes taking us all the way down the avenue and around the block, past the ugly cousins, past Mr. Benny's, up Mango Street, the back way, just in case. We are tired of being beautiful. Lucy hides the lemon shoes and the red shoes and the shoes that used to be white but are now pale blue under a powerful bushel basket on the back porch until one Tuesday her mother, who's very clean, throws them away, but no one complains. Chapter 19, A Rice Sandwich. The special kids, the ones who wear keys around their necks, get to eat in the canteen. The canteen! Even the name sounds important. And these kids at lunchtime go there because their mothers aren't home or home is too far away to get to. My home isn't far, but it's not close either. And somehow I got it in my head one day to ask my mother to make me a sandwich and write a note to the principal so I could eat in the canteen too. Oh no, she says, pointing the butter knife at me as if I'm starting trouble. No, sir. Next thing you know, everybody will be wanting a bag lunch. I'll be up all night cutting bread into little triangles. This one with mayo, this one with mustard. No pickles on mine, but mustard on one side, please. You kids just like to invent more work for me. But Nene says she doesn't want to eat at school. Ever. Because she likes to go home with her best friend Gloria, who lives across the schoolyard. Gloria's mama has a big color TV, and all they do is watch cartoons. Kiki and Carlos, on the other hand, are patrol boys. They don't want to eat at school either. They like to stand out in the cold, especially if it's raining. They think suffering is good for you ever since they saw that movie 300 Spartans. I'm no Spartan, and I hold up an anemic wrist to prove it. I can't even blow up a balloon without getting dizzy. And besides, I know how to make my own lunch. If I ate at school, there'd be less dishes to wash. You would see me less and like me better. Every day at noon, my chair would be empty. Where is my favorite daughter, you would cry. And when I came home finally at 3 p.m., you would appreciate me. Okay, my mother says after 3 days of this. And the following morning, I get to go to school with my mother's letter and a rice sandwich because we don't have lunch meat. Mondays or Fridays, it doesn't matter. Mornings always go by slow, and this day especially. But lunchtime came finally, and I got in line with the stay at school kids. Everything is fine until the nun, who knows all the canteen kids by heart, looks at me and says, "You? Who sent you here?" And since I'm shy, I don't say anything. Just hold out my hand with the letter. "This is no good," she says, till Sister Superior gives the okay. "Go upstairs and see her." And so I went. I had to wait for 2 kids in front of me to get hollered at because one because he did something in class, the other because he didn't. My turn came, and I stood in front of the big desk with holy pictures under the glass while Sister Superior read my letter. It went like this. "Dear Sister Superior, please let Esperanza eat in the lunchroom because she lives too far away and she gets tired. As you can see, she is very skinny. I hope to God she does not faint. Thank you, Miss E. Cordero." "You don't live far," she says. "You live across the boulevard. That's only 4 blocks, not even. 3 maybe. 3 long blocks away from here. I bet I can see your house from my window. Which one? Come here. Which one is your house?" And then she made me stand up on a box of books and point. "That one," she said. pointing to a row of ugly 3 flats, the ones even the raggedy men are ashamed to go into. Yes, I nodded, even though I knew that wasn't my house, and started to cry. I always cry when nuns yell at me, even if they're not yelling. Then she was sorry and said I could stay, just for today, not tomorrow or the day after. You go home. And I said yes, and could I please have a Kleenex? I had to blow my nose. In the canteen, which was nothing special, lots of boys and girls watched while I cried and ate my sandwich, the bread already greasy and the rice cold. Chapter 20. Chanclas. It's me, Mama, Mama said. I open up and she's there with bags and big boxes, the new clothes, and yes, she's got the socks and a new slip with a little rose on it and a pink and white striped dress. What about the shoes? I forgot. Too late now. I'm tired. Whew. 6:30 already, and my little cousin's baptism is over. All day waiting, the door locked. Don't open up for nobody, and don't till Mama gets back and buys everything except the shoes. Now Uncle Nacho is coming in his car, and we have to hurry to get to Precious Blood Church, quick, because that's where the baptism party is. In the basement, rented for today, for dancing and tamales, and everyone's kids running all over the place. Mama dances, laughs, dances. All of a sudden, Mama is sick. I fan her hot face with a paper plate. Too many tamales, but Uncle Nacho says, too many this, and tilts his thumb to his lips. Everybody laughing except me, because I'm wearing the new dress, pink and white with stripes, and new underclothes and new socks, and the old saddle shoes I wear to school, brown and white, the kind I get every September because they last long, and they do. My feet scuffed and round, and the heels all crooked that look dumb with this dress, so I just sit. Meanwhile, that boy, who is my cousin by first communion or something, asked me to dance, and I can't. Just stuff my feet under the metal folding chair, stamped precious blood, and pick on a wad of brown gum that's stuck beneath the seat. I shake my head no, my feet growing bigger and bigger. Then Uncle Nacho is pulling my arm, and it doesn't matter how new the dress Mama bought is because my feet are ugly until my uncle, who is a liar, says, "You are the prettiest girl here. Will you dance?" But I believe him. And yes, we're dancing. My Uncle Nacho and me. Only I don't want to at first. My feet swell big and heavy like plungers, but I drag them across the linoleum floor, straight center where Uncle wants to show off the new dance we learned. And Uncle spins me, and my skinny arms bend the way he taught me, and my mother watches, and my little cousins watch, and the boy who is my cousin by first communion watches. And everyone says, "Wow, who are those two who dance like in the movies?" Until I forget that I'm wearing only ordinary shoes, brown and white, the kind my mother buys each year for school. And all I hear is the clapping when the music stops. My uncle and me bow, and he walks me back in my thick shoes to my mother, who is proud to be my mother. All night, the boy who is a man watches me dance. He watched me dance. Chapter 21. Hips. I like coffee. I like tea. I like the boys, and the boys like me. Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. One day, you wake up, and they're there. Ready and waiting like a new Buick with the keys in the ignition, ready to take you where? They're good for holding a baby when you're cooking, Rachel says, turning the jump rope a little quicker. She has no imagination. You need them to dance, says Lucy. If you don't get them, you may turn into a man, Nene says this and she believes it. She is this way because of her age. That's right, I add before Lucy or Rachel can make fun of her. She is stupid, all right, but she is my sister. But most important, hips are scientific, I say, repeating what Alicia already told me. It's the bones that let you know which skeleton was a man when it was a man and which a woman's. They bloom like roses, I continue, because it's obvious I'm the only one who can speak with any authority. I have science on my side. The bones just one day open, just like that. One day you might decide to have kids, and then where are you going to put them? Gotta have room. Bones got to give. But don't have too many or your behind will spread. That's how it is, says Rachel, whose mama is as wide as a boat. And we just laugh. What I'm saying is, who here is ready? You gotta be able to know what to do with hips when you get them, I say, making it up as I go. You gotta know how to walk with hips. Practice, you know? Like if half of you wanted to go one way and the other half of the other. That's to lullaby it, Nene says. That's to rock the baby asleep inside you. And then she begins singing, seashells, copper bells, Evie, Ivy, over. I'm about to tell her that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but the more I think about it. You gotta get the rhythm, and Lucy begins to dance. She has the idea, though she's having trouble keeping her end of the double dutch steady. It's gotta be just so, I say. Not too fast and not too slow. Not too fast and not too slow. We slow the double circles down to a certain speed so Rachel, who has just jumped in, can practice shaking it. I want to shake it like hoochie coochie, Lucy says. She is crazy. I want to move like heebie-jeebie, I say, picking up on the cue. I want to be Tahiti or merengue or electricity. Or temblique. Yes, temblique. That's a good one. And then it's Rachel who starts it. Skip, skip, snake your hips, wiggle around and break your lip. Lucy waits a minute before her turn. She's thinking. Then she begins. The waitress with the big fat hips who pays the rent with taxi tips says nobody in town will kiss her on the lips because she looks like Christopher Columbus. Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. She misses on maybe so. I take a little while before my turn. Take a breath and dive in. Some are skinny like chicken lips. Some are baggy like soggy Band-Aids after you get out of the bathtub. I don't care what kind I get, just as long as I get hips. Everybody getting into it now except Nene, who is still humming, not a girl, not a boy, just a little baby. She's like that. When the two arcs open wide like jaws, Nene jumps in across from me, the rope ticking, the little gold earrings our mama gave her for her first Holy Communion bouncing, just as the color of a bar of naphtha laundry soap. She's like the little brown piece left at the end of the wash, the hard little bone, my sister. Her mouth opens. She begins. My mother and your mother are washing clothes. My mother punched your mother right in the nose. What color blood came out? Not that old song, I say. You gotta use your own song. Make it up, you know. But she just doesn't get it, or won't. It's hard to say which. The rope turning. Engine number 9, running down Chicago line. If the train runs off the track, do you want your money back? Do you want your money back? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. I can tell Lucy and Rachel are disgusted. But they don't say anything because she's my sister. Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. Nini, I say, but she doesn't hear me. She is too many light years away. She is in a world we don't belong to anymore. Nini! Going, going. Y-E-S spells yells, and out you go. Chapter 22, The First Job. It wasn't as if I didn't want to work. I did. I had even gone to the Social Security office the month before to get my Social Security number. I needed money. The Catholic high school cost a lot, and Papa said nobody went to public school unless you wanted to turn out bad. I thought I'd find an easy job, the kind other kids had, working in the dime store or maybe a hot dog stand. And though I hadn't started looking yet, I thought I might the week after next. But when I came home that afternoon, all wet because Tito had pushed me into the open water hydrant, only I had sort of let him, Mama called me in the kitchen before I could even go and change, and Aunt Layla, who's sitting there drinking her coffee with a spoon. Aunt Layla says she had found a job for me at the Peter Pan photo finishers on North Broadway where she worked. And how old was I? And to show up tomorrow saying I was 1 year older, then that was that. So the next morning, I put on the navy blue dress that made me look older and borrowed money for lunch and bus fare because Aunt Layla said I wouldn't get paid till the next Friday. And I went in and saw the boss of the Peter Pan photo finishers on North Broadway where Aunt Layla worked and lied about my age like she told me to. And sure enough, I started the same day. In my job, I had to wear white gloves. I was supposed to match negatives with their prints. Just look at the picture and look for the same one on the negative strip. Put it in the envelope and do the next one. That's all. I didn't even know where these envelopes were coming from or where they were going. I just did what I was told. It was real easy, and I guess I wouldn't have minded it except that you got tired after a while, and I didn't know if I could sit down or not. And then I started sitting down, only when the two ladies next to me did. After a while, they started to laugh and came up to me and said I could sit when I wanted to, and I said I knew. When lunchtime came, I was scared to eat alone in the company lunchroom with all those men and ladies looking, so I ate real fast standing in one of the washroom stalls and had lots of time left over. So I went back to work early. But then break time came, and not knowing where else to go, I went into the coat room because there was a bench there. I guess it was the time for the night shift or middle shift to arrive because a few people came in and punched the time clock. And an older Oriental man said, "Hello," and we talked for a while about my just starting. And he said we could be friends and next time to go in the lunchroom and sit with him. And I felt better. He had nice eyes, and I didn't feel so nervous anymore. Then he asked if I knew what day it was. And when I said I didn't, he said it was his birthday, and would I please give him a birthday kiss? I thought I would because he was so old, and just as I was about to put my lips on his cheek, he grabs my face with both hands and kisses me hard on the mouth and doesn't let go.